Let's speak to Rupert Read, who is an emeritus professor at the University of East Anglia and author of the book Why Climate Breakdown Matters. He joins me now live from the UK. Great to have you here with us on TRT World. Now, I want to quote the UN. Secretary General Guterres has called for a windfall tax on fossil fuel companies, labeling them as godfathers of climate chaos. I wonder, do you think such a strong language and financial penalties can actually drive meaningful change, or are they more likely to create pushback from the industry?
Well, there may be pushback from the industry, but what the Secretary General says is true. It is very well taken, and it needs to be acted on much more widely. What we've just seen, those terrible pictures from Bangladesh, this is just the beginning. And it's not just going to be countries like Bangladesh that suffer. For example, today also we're having serious floods in Poland. This is hitting all over the world, developed countries and developing countries, and it's only the beginning. So yes, the Secretary General is right. We have to get much more serious on this. Governments are nowhere near serious enough on it yet. And that means that citizens, you and me, voters, we all have to do our bit. And we also have to get ready for the impacts that are coming. We have to build preparedness. We have to get ready to adapt because our governments have left it so late.
Right. And Professor, given the recent data showing May as the hottest on record and predictions that global temperatures might surpass the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold within the next few years, do you believe that corporations are doing enough to address this imminent crisis? Or, and when I say this, I also want to talk about governments and just normal public as well. Or is it just paying lip service to the issue?
Are corporations doing enough? Of course they're not doing enough. No one in their right mind thinks they're doing enough. But let's also be clear, it's not that easy for most corporations to do the right thing here. They can only do the right thing if they have the right governmental regulatory framework within which to operate. What I mean by that is that if a corporation does the right thing and its competitor doesn't, it will get underbid, it will get undercut. So what we really need corporations to do now, and this is what my organization that I run, the Climate Majority Project, is calling for. What we need corporations to do is to say to governments, please regulate us. Please put us under strict climate and nature regulations. Only if governments do that can corporations actually become unleashed to really do the right thing.
So where's this lack of willingness? Is it from the government side?
Well, look, it's kind of everywhere, right? Governments are not doing enough. Corporations are not doing enough. Citizens are not doing enough. We all need to step up because our children and our grandchildren will only have one question for us. And that question is, what did you do in those crucial decades when there was time to make a vital difference? They call today World Environment Day, but that makes about as much sense in a way as talking about World Breathing Day. You know, every day is Environment Day. Every day is Climate Day.
Right.
Every day is Earth Day.
Professor,
and we all need to get serious
I just want to pick up on one point that he just made. Future generations are certainly going to ask, what did we do? So let me ask you, what can we do as citizens to protect our climate?
That is a great question. So it's about everything. It's about how you vote. It's about what you do in your local community. So communities, for example, need to build preparedness, need to seek to become more resilient against what is coming, because they have to be clear that governments are lagging behind on this. So we have to make a start. Somebody has to make a start, right? And what I'm saying is, whether you're a businessman, that means calling on the government to regulate you. If you're a citizen, it means voting in the right way. It means preparing in the area where you live. And if you're a politician, of course, it means actually showing some leadership. Wouldn't that just be a wonderful thing if we didn't have to look only to the UN Secretary General, if politicians too could show a little leadership on this absolutely vital issue?
Absolutely. Very well said. Professor Rupert Read, thanks very much for talking to us here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time.